Joining me now to analyze is Gordon Chang, columnist and author of the book, The Coming Collapse of China. Gordon, where do you see this going? You and I have talked about this idea that it's crazy for us to trade with China at all, given their strategic ambitions to, push us out as the world's dominant military and economic power. The president actually seemed to even float that concept today. The markets are pretty jittery the last couple of days. But where do things stand now?
Well, things stand now at a point where the Chinese are not talking to us. It was really interesting. At the Osaka G20, President Trump and Xi Jinping, the Chinese ruler, negotiated an interim deal that actually was very favorable for China. It gave them a critical concession on Huawei, and the Chinese agreed to buy more ag products, which they have to do anyway from somebody. Well, Xi Jinping couldn't even honor that, Laura. And I think that it says that in Beijing right now, there is political paralysis. Something is really wrong. And, you can't negotiate with the Chinese right now. So I think President Trump is absolutely right. If these guys don't want to talk to us in good faith, well, we'll just go on without them. And, that's really where we need to be, to disengage, boycott.
Well, and China apparently, according to Fox News, has some sources report coming out that China says it looks like it's moving toward an effort to decouple from the United States. But how realistic is that, Gordon, when you have Germany's economy essentially flat, France is in all this turmoil, the yellow vest, Brexit still not determined, a lot of tumult in Britain. I mean, there's no other economy that's really strong in the world right now of the big countries other than the United States. So how does China decouple? Is that just kind of a tit-for-tat thing?
Yeah, well, China can't really decouple. I mean, last year, China's merchandise surplus with the U.S. accounted for 119.3% of its overall merchandise surplus. That is incredible dependence on the U.S. We have an economy, Laura, that is not export dependent, certainly not dependent on China, but China has an economy dependent on us. That means we've got a lot of leverage. You had a lot of smart people in the U.S. saying, oh, China and the U.S. can't decouple. Well, one thing we've seen this year is that China's becoming much less of a factor for us.
Yeah, Gordon, thank you so much. Great to see you as always.